we're on page Kufches. It's about 8 lines from the top or so. The line begins with the word Ola Birtzoinoi. Right above with the little peyalef there. And we are still on the discussion how all qualities of the oiris, of the spheres, are all geared towards influencing and creation of worlds. They are not for internal consumption, so to speak. Like he said, when we quoted from the Zohar, if there is no world, why is he called merciful? There is no one to apply mercy to, and so forth. And then we come to the point where he's saying that even the principle of Malchus, also only between Ano Emlich, but then a Melab Layam. And because a Melab Layam, so since that he Ano Emlich, I shall reign, that initiated the Rotzen for creation of the world, in order to complement the quality of Melech. So we're on the line Ola B'Tzoinei, as I said, just the line above the little Pei Aleph. In the middle of that line, the fact that we say, Adonai Olam, the master of the world, who reigned before everything was created. But we just finished saying that Malchus is not Shaykh, not applicable prior to there being a world. So the answer to this question is Hainu. This which we are alluding to, the Inyan from Malchus, before anything was created. Hainu bechinas hamlucha. This is the aspect of Melucha k'moi shehi ba'atzmusa yisborich. The Hamlucha, as it is, be'atzmusa yisborich, within the atzmus itself. What does that mean? Shelamayla mebchinas gilui. That is above and higher than the whole phenomenon of gilui, of expression, of revelation. Aval bebchinas gilui oir. But in the realm of Gilui Oir, of revelation of Oir, in Hamlucha, the principle of Mlucha, who is Shaykh Le'ilomis. In Hamlucha, in the Gilui, is the Mlucha that Shaykh is that which is pertinent and belongs to worlds rather than for internal definition. So the principle of Melucha, as it is Be'atzmusei, above the whole phenomenon of Gilui, this phenomenon of Gilui, above the Bechinas Gilui, clearly is not speaking about Gilui revealing it to someone. We're talking about Gilui, the essence of Gilui, on an essential level. L'mayla mi bechinas Gilui means above the whole phenomenon, the whole concept, the whole principle of Gilui, the whole aspect of Gilui. This in itself is already a whole sedra. It's a whole concept. Just to give us a little bit of a connection to what is being alluded to over here. What is Bechinas Gilui and what is the Maila Mi Bechinas Gilui? Now, as I mentioned many times, Bechina does not mean, Bechina is a subtle reference. Not the presence, the actual action, but the Bechina of Gilui, the aspect of Gilui. Let us consider on the human level. There is an innate intelligence in a human being. A human being innately will recognize and will identify the difference between a living thing and an inanimate object. Not by identifying their qualities and describing them. Just innately seeing that it's a different world. Like the REBBE, previous REBBE describes that an animal is capable of trampling on a living being without even recognizing that he's doing something untoward. It's an animal. He doesn't have the intelligence or distinction between one thing and another thing. L'havdil, a human being, does have an innate cognizance of the various qualities that exist, starting from bottom up, the inanimate, and even among the inanimate things. He innately will recognize a piece of gold from just a scrap of metal. Or a stone from a diamond. This does not need to be described. This is what's called the innate intelligence in a human being. And if you ask him at that point, what did you see? What made you recognize that this is a living thing? He wouldn't know to answer. Because he did not identify it through Gilui, through any kind of a procedural method. Because he has he has intelligence on its fundamental level. If you take it a step further.
To remain on this call, press 1.
If you take it a step further. the animal looking at the world and the human being looking at the world. Just in a blanket glance. To the human being, the world does not speak with any message. The only question that he has is, where is my prey?
You need an animal.
Right.
Where's my food?
Where's my food? If anything. The human being, when he looks at the world, at the very glance of it, what's going on here? What is this about? Not because he's curious and he's concerned about himself. It's just that he recognizes instantaneously there's something phenomenal going on over here. He does not need to identify things in order to recognize that there is something there. This is called innate intelligence. And this innate intelligence, at that stage, is what we can call l'mayla mebchinas gilui. It is not an experiential intelligence. It is not an intelligence that he gained as a result of experience. This is his intelligence nefesh. Because the nefesh knows, again, innately, that things have a reality to them. That there is a reality in general. And if there's a reality in general, therefore, whatever he sees, he's looking right away, what's the reality behind it? What does it stand for? Because he recognizes, without looking at things, he knows innately that there is a reality. There's much more to speak about this, but suffice it for this purpose, because we want to just recognize that there's such a thing as the etzem intelligence, l'mayla b'chinas gilui, that is higher than b'chinas gilui, than whole phenomenon of gilui, of expressing what it is. If we should take this into the human process, we will recognize that this intelligence, in order for this intelligence to be reflected in his thought, this is already gilui. Once it's in his thought, that means that this is a gilui of that intelligence. He has something to think about. He has it way beyond, before it comes into thought. Way before. This intelligence that is above being recognized in thought, which means he has not yet come to expression. By definition, that he is a human being, before he even opened his eyes, he's a human being, he has intelligence. How do we define that intelligence prior to being expressed even in thought? There is a distinction between one thing and another. There's value. There is value in existence. More valuable and less valuable. That is inherent at a fundamental level of intelligence. This is, again, I'm just not even touching the surface, just pointing out for the purpose that we should be able to relate to it. We could see even in our own concept that there is what's called the etzem knowledge, etzem intelligence. Way above Gilu, above Bechinas Gilu. There isn't anything to be Megala. Gilui, in order for something to come to a state of Gilui, you have to be able to, you have to distinguish between the inside and the outside. Gilui is the way it appears externally. And then there is the way it is internal to itself. Gilui is typically on the surface. The whole phenomenon of surface intelligence, he's not even aware of it. This is what we're saying, that there is the union of Melucha in Atzmus, Shelamayla Mebchinas Gilui, which is above than the Bechina of Gilui, than the whole phenomenon of Gilui. This is a perplexing statement, because what does the word Melucha mean? Just as we said before, Rachum, mercy. We said mercy is geared towards the outside, and towards something that needs mercy. It has to be on the outside in order to have mercy. So they have the quality of mercy. And the same thing is in Melech. And yet we say, Asher Malach B'Terem Kol Yitzur Nivra, that there is in from Malchus before anything was created. That in Malchus, in contrast to the other qualities of mercy and kindness and so forth, Malchus is something which has an essential reality. And that's what we say, before anything was created, he is already king. Not only is he king in terms of his own qualities, but Molach means he reigned. Reigning means the act of reign. He reigned before anything was created. Because the phenomenon that he is king and that he reigns is also something which is contained within the Etzem itself.
I think Yitzchak has a question, but he's afraid to ask.
No.
No? Okay.
So, with this is what we said about mercy. And really the same thing about kingship.
What?
We said the same thing about Malchus and mercy. That they need, a recipient is needed. And then we said Hashem Malach.
So
internal.
here's what we're saying. Mercy, we say, is like not possible except when there is something to have mercy on. And yet at the same time, and Malchus is also the same thing. But we say,
and even though it's in the past tense, we're saying it's in the essential form.
Yeah, in essential form.
Okay.
Malach, he actually reigned before anything was created. Malchus is unique among the various spheres, that it has an essential reality above any bechina of Gili. Even to the extent that we're saying that he is Molech, he reigned. Not that he is a king potentially, but he actually reigned before anything was created. Asher Molech. Melucha is truly a supreme concept. Even in its active state, Molech, there is an essential reality to its even in its active state. Asher Molech b'terem kol etzun yibra. Mucha k'meishu b'atzmusa yitzu l'mayla mebchinas Gili. In other words, we say Asher Molech, that he reigned. Normally, anything that alludes to an action, you are speaking of the surface of this quality, not the internals, but the surface as it shows itself. Here we say Molech, and we're not talking about the surface. The Ma'amad B'chinas Gili. Okay, this is what we're saying. How to understand this is not for now. So he says like this. But Bechinas, and we continue now on the line, at the end of the line that the Pei Aleph marks. Bechinas Gilu Yoir. But when you refer to Malchus and the Bechina of Gilu Yoir, of showing the oir, in hamlucha hu sheshayach leilomis. There, even the inyan for melucha is only that which is shayach leilomis, which pertains to world. We already discussed. I'm going there because we don't have much time anyway. I just want to remind us that this is something which we have to be able to bring up all the time as you're learning Chassidus. We already discussed what's that Gilui Oir. What is oir? And the moshel, or the illustration that we used for oir is a human being in his home. Instantaneously, as soon as he owns the home, he fills his home with his oir. His presence occupies and affects the entire home. This oir is not a beam of light, it's not a tangible aspect. It is representing the truth of his presence. That's meant oir. We mentioned it many times. An etzem has an oir. The oir of etzem is not something that emanates and journeys from the etzem to space. The oir of the etzem is the etzem itself. The presence of the etzem, that's the oir. The oir, the best way to translate it is the impact. His presence has an impact, even though he is sitting someplace hidden. Yet there's an impact of his presence. This is called oir. Melucha, and beside Melucha there is the inyan from Akaveshu Vatsamusay. And then there is the inyan of Melucha, Bebechinas Giluyoir. There's the impact of his being king. This is called Giluyoir. It's an oil aspect. It's not what he is unto himself, but that his presence as a melech is felt. Even though he is not acting as such. But his presence as a melech is felt throughout reality. So that level of Malchus, B'chinas Giluyoir, in Hamlucha hu she'shayach lo'elamis. The Hamlucha is that which is shayach lo'elamis, which pertains to worlds. Even Melucha, if we talk about Giluyoir, the impact of Melucha is clearly only that which pertains to worlds. Without worlds, there is not that aspect of Malchus at the level of Giluyoir, of impact of being a melech. Just take 2 minutes. Because in our mind, the minute we speak of a melech, we speak of a ruler. The minute we speak of a ruler, we speak of a dictator. Power. We have to go to a purer and a deeper insight. The impact of a melech is not his rulership. Not his power. And this is what we say, this impact of a melech, that is pertinent only if there is a world. Even the impact of his own being melech is only shaykh if there is on in loyalness. Internal to the melech, it is not pertinent. To put it in very simple terms, the melech does not know that he is melech himself. Knowing melech, this would be Gilead. Doesn't know about his malchus quality, malchus status. Okay, this is it. We continue the mitzvah. This is a phenomenal inyan. Malchus is a very unique concept.
Can we say that Malchus is a certain kind of dignity? Classiness.
That's what a Gilead.
Yeah, but the fact that you have it,
I'm saying, is he aware of it or not? I'm saying that Gilead means he knows about it.